Have you ever felt drained after interacting with certain people, as if all your energy had been sucked away? Welcome to the world of toxic people, those who seem to have the power to turn our day into an emotional minefield. But what if I told you there's a way to navigate these turbulent waters with serenity and wisdom? Today, we'll dive into the depths of Stoicism to uncover 11 powerful strategies that will not only help us deal with toxic people, but also transform us into more resilient and balanced individuals. Get ready for a journey of self-discovery and inner strengthening. Stoicism, an ancient yet ever-relevant philosophy, offers a powerful set of tools for navigating the complex world of interpersonal relationships. Stoic masters like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca emphasize the importance of focusing only on what's under our control. This is the fundamental basis for dealing with toxic people. Imagine you're driving a car. You can control your speed, direction, and attention, but you can't control the behavior of other drivers. Similarly, in life, you can't control others' actions, but you have full autonomy over your reactions. This shift in perspective is the first step to freeing yourself from the negative influence of toxic people. The first Stoic strategy is to practice indifference. But be careful. Stoic indifference isn't apathy or emotional coldness. It's a state of equanimity where you acknowledge external events without allowing them to disturb your inner peace. Think of a judge in a courtroom. They hear all the evidence, heated arguments, and emotional testimonies, but maintain their impartiality to make a fair decision. The next time someone tries to provoke you with toxic words or actions, visualize yourself as that judge. Observe the situation with curiosity and detachment, as if you were watching a play. Ask yourself, does this really have the power to disturb my inner peace? With practice, you'll develop the ability to remain calm amidst others' emotional storms. Our second way of dealing with toxic people, to cultivate empathy. The Stoics remind us that people often act harmfully because they themselves are suffering or ignorant of the consequences of their actions. Imagine a dog barking and growling at you. Your first reaction might be fear or anger. But if you knew the dog was scared or hurt, your response would likely be compassion. Similarly, try to see beyond toxic behavior and imagine what might be causing this attitude. Maybe the person is going through a difficult divorce, facing financial problems, or struggling with an undiagnosed illness. This exercise doesn't justify harmful behaviors, but it helps us respond with understanding instead of reactivity. Practice asking yourself questions like, what might this person be facing that I don't know about? What pain or fear might be motivating this behavior? This empathetic perspective can completely transform your interactions with difficult people. The third Stoic strategy is to establish clear and firm boundaries. The Stoics valued virtue above all else, and part of that virtue is self-respect and self-preservation. Setting boundaries isn't being selfish or unfriendly. It's an essential act of self-care. Think of your boundaries as the walls of a house. They don't exist to imprison you, but to protect you and create a safe space where you can thrive. When dealing with toxic people, it's crucial to communicate your boundaries in a clear, calm, and assertive manner. For example, you might say, I understand you're frustrated, but I don't accept being treated this way. If we're going to continue this conversation, it needs to be respectful. Remember, you can't control how the other person reacts to your boundaries, but you can control how you establish and maintain them. Practice assertive phrases in the mirror or with a trusted friend to feel more comfortable using them in real situations. Our fourth way is to practice amor fati, or love of fate. This Stoic concept challenges us to not just accept, but embrace everything life presents to us, including difficult. See toxic people as your involuntary teachers of patience, self-control, and resilience. Each challenging interaction is an opportunity for growth. Imagine you're in an emotional gym, and each difficult person is a different piece of equipment, working on a specific aspect of your inner strength. The next time you encounter a toxic situation, instead of thinking, why is this happening to me, ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can I use this experience to become a better person? This shift in mindset transforms you from a victim into a student, from a passive recipient into an active participant in your own development. The fifth Stoic strategy is to cultivate inner virtue. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from living according to our values, not from external circumstances or others' opinions. Focus on developing your internal qualities: wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. This is like building an inner fortress that no one can invade. Do a daily reflection exercise. At the end of each day, ask yourself, how did I demonstrate wisdom today? When was I fair? When did I show courage? How did I practice self-control? By anchoring your self-esteem in your inner virtues, the words and actions of toxic people lose their power over you. You become like a tree with deep roots. You may sway with the winds of adversity, but you won't be knocked down. Our sixth way of dealing with toxic: to practice negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. This Stoic technique involves imagining challenging scenarios before they happen. It's like a mental rehearsal for difficult situations. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing potentially toxic interactions. How would you ideally react? What words would you use? What body posture would you adopt? Imagine yourself responding with calmness, dignity, and wisdom. For example, if you know you're going to encounter a particularly difficult coworker, visualize the scene in detail. See yourself breathing deeply, maintaining an upright posture, and responding with clear and assertive phrases. This mental exercise not only prepares you to maintain composure in real situations, but also reduces the anxiety associated with these interactions. The seventh strategy is to adopt the cosmic perspective, a fundamental concept in Stoicism. The Stoics remind us of our smallness in the vast universe, not to diminish us, but to give us perspective. When someone is being toxic, do a mental zoom-out exercise. Imagine seeing the situation from above, then from the city, the country, the planet, and finally from space. Suddenly, that heated argument or malicious comment seems insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year, 10 years, 100 years? This cosmic perspective can instantly reduce stress and help us respond with more wisdom and less reactivity. It's not about invalidating your feelings, but about putting them in a broader context. Our eighth way is to practice wise silence. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic masters, advised, "Be silent for the most part, or say only what is necessary in few words." In a world that values quick responses and having the last word, silence can be a powerful tool. When confronted with toxicity, pause. Breathe. Consider whether a response is really necessary. Often, silence is the most eloquent response to negativity. It's not passivity, but a conscious choice not to feed the negative cycle. Imagine your silence as a shield that reflects negativity back to its source without absorbing it. Practice counting to 10 before responding in tense situations. You'll be surprised how many conflicts can be avoided simply by not reacting immediately. The ninth Stoic strategy is to focus on what we can control. This is a central principle of Stoicism, and particularly useful when dealing with toxic people. Faced with a challenging situation, make a mental list. What's under my control in this situation? Usually, it's our own actions, thoughts, and responses. Focus your energy on these aspects. For example, you can't control whether someone makes negative comments about you, but you can control how you interpret those comments and how you respond to them. It's like directing a beam of light to illuminate the path ahead of you, instead of trying to light up the entire dark forest around you. Practice asking yourself the question, what's under my control right now? This simple question can be transformative in stressful situations. Our 10th way of dealing with toxic people is to practice gratitude, even in difficult situations. The Stoics teach us to find good in all things, a concept known as art of acquiescence. After a challenging interaction, do a gratitude exercise. Ask yourself, what can I be thankful for in this experience? Maybe it's the opportunity to practice patience, or a reminder of the kind of person you don't want to be. Perhaps the situation revealed an area where you need to work on yourself. Gratitude is like an antidote to the poison of toxicity. It shifts our focus from the negative to the positive, even in adverse circumstances. Keep a toxic gratitude journal where you write down something you're grateful for after each difficult interaction. Over time, you might be surprised to see how these experiences contributed to your personal growth. The 11th and final strategy is to remember the impermanence of all things. Stoics constantly remind us that everything in this world is transitory. Situations change, people change, and we change. This awareness helps us not get stuck in temporary conflicts or allow toxic interactions to define our life experience. Visualize the toxic situation as a passing cloud in the sky of your existence. It doesn't define your entire day, let alone your entire life. Practice telling yourself, "This too shall pass." This perspective not only offers comfort during difficult times, but also reminds us to appreciate the good moments, knowing they too are fleeting. Now that we've explored these 11 Stoic strategies, it's important to think about how to integrate them into our daily lives. Start by choosing one or two that resonate with you the most. Maybe it's the practice of Stoic indifference or focusing on what you can control. Consciously implement them in your daily interactions, not just with toxic people, but in all your relationships. For example, you might start each day with a negative visualization exercise, mentally preparing yourself for possible challenges. Or you could keep a small journal where you record your reflections on personal control and inner virtue. Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. Small daily steps lead to big changes over time. It's crucial to remember that change doesn't happen overnight. The Stoics valued constant and patient practice. Treat each challenging interaction as an opportunity to train your Stoic muscles. At first, it might seem difficult or artificial to apply these principles. You might find yourself reacting in old ways before remembering your new tools. This is completely normal and part of the learning process. Be gentle with yourself and see each failure as a learning opportunity. With time and consistent practice, you'll notice a change, not just in how you deal with toxic people, but in your entire approach to life. Your reactions will become more automatic, your inner peace more stable, and your resilience stronger. Finally, it's crucial to recognize that, in some cases, the best strategy might be to create distance from consistently toxic. The Stoics valued relationships that elevate us and help us grow in virtue. If a relationship consistently undermines your well-being and growth, it's wise to consider whether it deserves a place in your life. This doesn't mean cutting ties impulsively, but making a careful assessment and making conscious decisions about your associations. Ask yourself, does this relationship help me be the best version of myself? Am I growing or diminishing due to this interaction? Remember, you are the guardian of your inner peace and have the right and responsibility to protect it. Sometimes the most courageous and wise action is knowing when to walk away. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new content. Leave your like and share your experiences in the comments below. I want to know how you deal with toxic people. And stay tuned for upcoming videos where we'll continue exploring more about how to apply Stoicism in everyday life. Your feedback is crucial to us and helps us bring increasingly relevant and useful content for your personal and spiritual growth journey.